want you to introduce yourself to the Ivy Cancer platform.
My name's Alf, aka Freddie. Grew up in Anzaret and I had prostate cancer about 12 years ago. And ever since then, I decided to share my story to try and help other people in my community, especially black men, with the biopsy. Now, that's the bit some man now like.
Yeah.
They did go through your bottom.
Oh shit.
So when we go in at this room and you see this Macmillan nurse come in, so from then your heart start beat. You know what I mean? Because Macmillan means cancer.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, so this woman come in and you have, I think, then the professor, the doctor, him did it, me and the daughter. Then him look at me and him say, your results have come back and we found traces of cancer. But as soon as him said that word, everything after that, me know you're nothing. I said to him, talk to my daughter. Because why didn't I talk to my daughter? My head just tell me never did. But something they don't tell you as well. If you have radiotherapy first, then after radiotherapy didn't work, then you go to have it removed. You can't have no further surgery.
Why?
Because
my name is Brian and I have a dream to create a non-profit organization through my podcast to help spread cancer awareness and other illnesses that's affecting the world at large, and to financially support those who are diagnosed with cancer. My mom died of breast cancer last year, and I've set a target to hit my 1,000 subscriber by her death anniversary in March next year. You can help me to achieve that. I've noticed that 73% of you who have revisited this channel have not yet subscribed. Please, your subscription mean a lot to the growth of this channel, and my promise to you is that this channel will get better and better and better, and it will help to scale the guests that I have on this podcast. Above me, there's a QR code that will take you straight to my YouTube channel to save you all the hustle. Now, do we have a deal? Thank you.
Today we're going to speak about a topic that's already been talked about. My guest will be sharing his personal experience. According to statistics, prostate cancer will rise by 5% in year 2025 and expected to go more in 2028. Statistics shows that over 55,000 men diagnosed with prostate cancer every year in the UK. Hi, welcome to Ivy Cancer Podcast, where we discuss cancer, health, lifestyle, and healing, and today it is no different. Alf.
yes,
We met at the prostate cancer that was funded by Men's Mental Health and Prostate Cancer UK, and I can't remember the other funding. Just recent, last month, and you were sharing your story. But before we get into the story, I want you to introduce yourself to the Ivy Cancer platform.
my name's Alf, aka Freddie. Grew up in Anzaret and I had prostate cancer about 12 years ago. And ever since then, I decided to share my story to try and help other people in my community, especially black men, to be aware of what's out there.
Cool. So, Alfred, you don't know this, but my dad, name is third son Alfred because his name was Frederick. I don't know how the Alfred come in, but I have a brother by the name of Alfred as well. Right. So you have told us about yourself and that you have your dream is to, share your story and to help others. Am I correct?
Yes, because a lot of people don't realize how dangerous this is and how widespread it is in our community.
Why do you think men do not take prostate cancer seriously?
One of the reasons, especially with black men, they don't like going to the doctors and they don't like to talk about health. But if you don't talk about health, you won't learn about health.
Definitely. That's so true. One of the myth Jamaican men tend to struggle with is they're not going to the doctor because they do not want to, well, I wouldn't say myth, but stigma. They don't want to have anything inserted in their bottom. What do you think about that?
Well, with prostate cancer, you don't get anything inserted in your bottom anyway, because to find out you have prostate cancer, you can have a PSA test, what's just a simple blood test.
Okay.
The days of going to the doctors where someone was going to put their finger in your bottom, that's gone. But on the other side, if someone was going to put their finger in your bottom to test you and it was going to save your life, you have to make a decision.
Right. I just think it's something that they grow up with. And speaking about growing up, what are some of the myths that you have heard about in your adult stage when it comes to prostate cancer?
Well, 12 years ago when I found out I had prostate cancer, I met this brother I used to go to school with. Me and him at the same age.
Yeah.
And I said to him, 1 in 4 black men will get prostate cancer.
That's before you get cancer?
Yeah, I said, no, I was diagnosed with prostate cancer at the time.
Okay.
And I told him 1 in 4 black men will end up with prostate cancer. And he said, no, it's foolishness. Then he looked at me and said, think about it. Who do you know with prostate cancer? And at the time I said to him, nobody. But since then, that same person has ended up with prostate cancer.
Wow.
And his brother has had prostate cancer.
So if he had took your advice, he probably would have gone to do some check.
If he had took my advice, because he had the checks anyway, because he found out, but he might would have gone earlier.
Okay.
But it was just ignorance where they believe 1 in 4 is nonsense. Where 1 in 4 is proven to be a fact.
Right.
And at the moment, it may be more than 1 in 4. Scientists are working on that now. It could be more than 1 in 4.
Okay. Your experience, you said you're diagnosed 12 years ago.
I'm not a clinical professional,
right,
but I'm a professional in my own health.
Right.
And I've been studying prostate cancer, been involved with it, I've had it.
Okay.
So from that side of it, you can say I am a professional.
Okay. So with your experience, I want you to tell the audience your experience. What was your experience like with prostate cancer?
Right. All mine start. There was something on telly years ago and this morning, and Samuel Jackson was on there. There was a Men's Health Week, and there was telling men about prostate cancer. And Samuel Jackson was on there, and every day of them have some different celebrities telling men about it.
Yeah.
But one day I got to the doctor, just in general, my back hurt me, just because of weightlifting. Nothing to do with prostate cancer, nothing to do with anything, just because I have a backache.
Right.
And because my doctor, their hands hurt, and I think they're more used to dealing with black men, he said to me, because you get into the age of 50, you could have a PSA test. So me just said, yeah, I'll have a PSA test.
Right.
So I had the PSA test. That's a simple blood test. When I test you for everything else. Then about 2 weeks later, we get a phone call to come back to the doctor because something never right. And when I went there, he said it's not right. So what we have to do, we're going to send you for further tests. Then after that, you get the further tests. I have to go to the hospital. Then
so within those
about 2
ring
weeks.
Around,
yeah,
what was some of the thoughts that was running through your head? Because you must be saying, what's going on?
Like, in the first place, you don't think too deep like I was saying, nothing wrong with me.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, remember, this prostate thing, you don't have symptoms. So in your head, that's why you're concerned, nothing wrong with you.
And adjust your back problem.
So even though them said the test's not really right, it's still not really a problem, really, because you don't know nothing.
Yeah.
But when they say they're going to give you a biopsy, then we'll contact you.
Right.
Then you start thinking things. So what happened? You go to the hospital, you have a biopsy. They say, we'll contact you within about 4 weeks, something like that. But when you get a letter telling you to come back to the hospital for the results early, then you start thinking all the nonsense. But you're not even deep in it because you don't really know.
Before we go to the hospital, because, you know, when my mom had her biopsy, they stick somewhere with a sharp needle and pull some substance out. And what was the biopsy like for you? Where did they pull the substance from? Right,
with the biopsy now, that's the bit some man now go like, they did go through your bottom.
Oh shit.
Up to your prostate. But since then, They change it. They don't actually go through your bottom.
Yeah.
Between where your testicles is
Yeah.
and your bottom, that bit of skin there, they go through that way.
Ah.
But it is invasive. And I won't lie, I tell everybody, it hurt.
Yeah.
But it couldn't hurt because I'm afraid.
Right. But anything with needle, I don't know about you, but I'm petrified when it comes to needle. When me go to the doctor and the doctor say, yeah, I have a blood test for you.
Yeah.
Turn my face up, because I don't want to see the needle.
Yeah.
But with the biopsy, I'm sure that the biopsy needle bigger than...
But me never see it. Me never see it, and I wasn't going to look.
That make it better for you then?
No, because what I mean there, I was afraid. I was shaking, I'm afraid.
Okay. So, after you do the biopsy then, and you mentioned about letter.
Yeah. You get a letter telling you to come back for the results.
So, what did I run through your mind them time then?
Then, when the letter come back, and it come back quick,
Yeah.
then everything start run through your mind.
When you say quick, what you mean?
Because them said them will contact you, say, like in 3 weeks. But
Right.
you get a letter in a week
Whoa.
telling you to come back.
I'd start
So
politics.
quick. Yeah, so you start worry about it
Yeah.
and them things. So, we did have to go at Dudley Road.
Yeah.
And on the day, me and my daughter did go. So, when we go into this room,
Mm-hmm.
and you see this Macmillan nurse come in.
Mhm.
So from then your heart start beat. You know what I mean? Because
Macmillan
Macmillan means cancer.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, so this woman come in, and you have, I think, then the professor or the doctor, him did me and my daughter. Then him look at me and him say, your results have come back, and we find traces of cancer. But as soon as him said that word,
Yeah.
everything after that, me know you're nothing. I said to him,
Blank.
talk to my daughter. Because why didn't I talk to my daughter? My head just tell me I was dead.
So immediately you start thinking about death.
Yeah. Forget what him tell you.
Yeah.
Me start think about that.
So you mentioned daughter, so I assume at the time you never have a partner.
No, but it's me and my daughter to go, because my daughter works in an hospital. So she have a little medical background.
So you did have a
understand?
partner then?
Yeah.
Okay. So when him says speak to your daughter, I assume your daughter relate back with the information.
Yeah,
to
so
you.
she could have just taken it in, because me head hot me then.
I may laugh, but it's something that's very serious, and I don't want people to think that this is a joking matter, but cancer is very serious, no matter what kind of cancer is. And you hear the man say, like, him start thinking about death. But when you start thinking about death, given the fact that you've been through the experience, what would be your advice to other men when it comes to finding out about prostate cancer? Because it's not a death sentence. Because here.
No, it's not a death sentence.
Right.
If you take yourself and go and have the tests
Right.
and find out early.
Right.
Anybody what don't find out early. You see, the health service won't tell you this, but me tell people coming up is this.
Right.
If you end up with symptoms,
Mhm.
then you go and have a test, then you've got problems. If you find out before you've got symptoms, then you're better off. For you to have symptoms, that means something wrong.
So, when you reach the stage of symptoms, you're probably then at the stage 3, stage 4.
No, not
category.
necessarily.
Okay.
Because normally, you always said, them set the signs to look out for with prostate cancer. Struggling to have a wee.
Right.
Getting them at night and weeing a lot, because that's happened to all the men anyway.
Right.
Them are some of the little symptoms, you know what I mean? It's not mainly like having a wee, getting up at night and all them things. Them sort of symptoms. Because there's nothing major really to look for. You know what I mean? Them are the beginning simple symptoms.
Yeah.
But you're still better off if you can have a test and find out before them symptoms come. After that, some people have worse symptoms. Them start have backache, neck ache. You know what I mean? Like the Olympian the other day, he had a pain in his neck. Chris Oy, or whatever his name. He had a pain in his neck. And go to the doctor for a pain in the neck and find out he had prostate cancer.
Wow.
But when you find out you have prostate cancer that way, to me, I mean, I don't want to use the main word, you've got problems.
Right.
But if you go early, yeah, I mean, you have a lot
So
of
early
opportunity.
detection helps.
Early detection, early. That means when you're 50, just go to the doctor and just have a blood test.
So you were, mentioned that you was about 50?
But about 50, 50 when we have my operation.
So the standard age to do a prostate test in the UK is
it is 50, yeah.
50?
Yeah.
Okay, because I went and do a prostate PSA test.
Yeah.
And the reason why they grant me that opportunity is because I lost my mom to cancer, and I have several other family members with prostate cancer.
Yeah, that's how it works. Yeah.
Right. So, and I was doing an interview with a doctor, Dr. James Bell, and he explained the reason why behind that is because of the funding. They can't just pick up anyone and just say, let me give you a prostate cancer because you said you're feeling this or you're feeling that. They have to have proper measurements.
Yeah. But if you're 50, you can have it regardless. Right. But if you're under 50 and someone in your family had it, a brother, your father, you're really at high risk. You should have it done every year. Okay. When you get to 50, you should have that test done every year anyway, because anything can change in that time.
Okay.
And early detection make a big difference. That's what I mean, I know.
Okay. So, if I was a fly on the wall, when your daughter was explaining what the doctor just said, is a urologist, right?
Yeah.
When your daughter was expressing to you what your urologist just said, if I was a fly on the wall, what would I have seen at that time?
Just me sitting there, just quiet, because my brain was just thinking something completely different to what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, because him start talk about, the options, what you can do, what's going to happen next.
What are some of the options?
Well, at the time, you could have had a thing called brachytherapy, or you had radical prostatectomy. Radical prostatectomy is when they remove your prostate completely. Mm-hmm. Brachytherapy is like a radiation treatment. They put these little metal pellet things in your prostate, and it pumps out radiation.
Oh.
So they was like the two choices at the time.
Okay.
But sometimes when people get diagnosed, they give you these options, but you don't even understand prostate cancer, so you don't even know what you're going to choose.
Right.
Because a lot of people don't really do the research, and just listen to what a doctor tell them on the DR, somebody tell them something. They don't really do the research.
Okay.
So I had a choice of two things. But because I was scared and frightened, we never want nobody cut me open and all them things, I was going to have brachytherapy, the radiation treatment.
So the radiation, so that's what you took? Or
No,
you didn't?
that's what I was going to have, because I thought it would be simpler and easier.
Okay.
But, because I had a good 5-6 months to work out what to have, but I decided not to have brachytherapy, because the both options have side effects. Right? Well, you said radical prostatectomy, remove your prostate. One of your side effects could be being incontinent, that means wetting yourself, and you could have erectile dysfunction from having it removed.
Right.
These are options that means you could have, but they have to tell you these things. But with brachytherapy, you think, it's a bit more simpler, but you still can be incontinent from it, and you still can get erectile dysfunction.
Right.
But what made my mind up, something they don't really tell you, but you have to do the research yourself, with the brachytherapy, it's the bowel cancer, what it can give you later on.
Really?
Yeah. And so because they're both of them, you might have a side effect. My daughter says to me, Dad, you're worried that you might be incontinent with your wee. She says, what they're not telling you, with the brachytherapy later on, you might have to have a bag for your poo.
So, do you think in your situation, because not everyone gonna, if I was in your situation, I wouldn't have the privilege that you had pertaining to your daughter.
Yeah.
So, would you say that you had an advantage, in other words, because your daughter is in the medical field?
Yes.
Okay.
So, when she went back to work, because she happened to work on a department what deal with urology at the time.
Right.
So she went to work. And she said, when I go to work, I'm going to ask one of the surgeons if he would do my operation for me. So lucky for me, everybody don't get this option. I had the best surgeon you can have in the country.
Okay.
Right. His name's Alan Doherty. People go on the internet, you'll see his name.
Okay.
He was like the best.
Right.
Not one of the best. The best.
Okay.
Right. But one of the problems now, he still does it, but he only does it privately.
I think you're going to come up with something that I'm not ready for you to come up with yet.
Right.
It's about the nerves.
Yes.
I don't want you to come up with that as yet.
All right.
I want you to save the best for last.
Yeah.
So you end up taking the
radical prostatectomy, but I had Mr. Doherty doing my surgeon because he specialises in, as you said, certain things. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. So with these therapy, right? Did you have any libido issues, any erectile link dysfunction issues, or anything like
After
that?
operation.
After operation, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
After your operation, when you wake up, you go to hospital. I went to hospital on a Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
At the operation, might be 6 hours. When you wake up, you've got a catheter because they have to take out your prostate. They have to cut your wee pipe and basically join it back together.
Oh.
Right.
Okay.
So you have to have a catheter till you heal up.
Okay.
I came out of hospital on the Monday. Then on the Friday, I had to go back to the hospital to have my catheter removed. When they remove your catheter, you will be incontinent.
Okay. For how long?
It varies.
Because I was watching a podcast and this gentleman, it took him 6 months to get back his erectile function back. I don't know what was the reason, but in a standard procedure, how long did it took you for you to get back your erectile your function?
Right. Incontinent, you had to have pads, might be for about 3 months. The erectile dysfunction might be about, you could say about 6 months, but that's because of the style of treatment and your medication. You know what I mean? But some people never.
Okay.
Yeah. Some people are still incontinent forever.
For life.
Yeah, and they can still have erectile dysfunction.
And
But factors could be from that. It could be the person's health, the person's age, the person's medical situation before prostate cancer,
right.
and the type of surgery. So all these different things add together.
Okay.
And being that I was young, you recover quicker.
Okay.
I'm fit and healthy, so when I go to the gym, you recover quicker.
Okay.
Then it still comes back down to the surgeon.
So, all right. So we're going to bring us now to what I asked you to hold on to, which is the nerve saving therapy.
Yeah.
When we were at that seminar, I never knew about this nerve saving. A matter of fact, I didn't even knew that after surgery you would have these kind of complications. When I was watching interviews, those things get me petrified. And I think that's a lot of men as well, because most men now want to lose that, that man pride and joy. So when me see that on YouTube, I was like, what the hell? But your experience when you were sharing it at the seminar, you spoke about the nerve saving therapy.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Right. The surgeon I had actually specialises in protecting your nerves. How it works, around your prostate, all around the edge, you've got nerves all across your body, but around your prostate, you've got nerves all the way around it, what helps your erection. If you find your prostate cancer early and it hasn't spread and it's still contained, you can have an operation where they remove your prostate, but they protect the nerves around the edge. People who find it late, sometimes the cancer is at the edge of your prostate, then you can't really have nerve-sparing surgery.
Okay.
You have to have it totally removed.
Okay.
So one of the benefits of finding it early is that.
Okay.
Plus, the surgeon, he specialises in nerve-sparing surgery.
Okay.
Prior to me being diagnosed and having my daughter with me at the time, I've never heard of it either.
Oh.
Just like most men, I speak to a lot of men who've been doing this 12 years, they've never heard of it when I speak to them.
So that is important for men to know about as well.
But they'll only know one way. They're not going to read about it really, and they're not going to sit on here. They only know about it from somebody telling them and listening to people. That's where the sharing thing comes, because if somebody don't tell them, because when you first get diagnosed, they just give you an option, have it removed.
Right.
At no point they're going to say, oh, you can have it removed and we can do this to protect you.
Right.
They don't tell them.
Gotcha.
But even when you have nerve sparing surgery, it still don't guarantee anything.
Yeah, I've seen
But
that
at
as
least
well.
you still
have a chance.
you've got a chance.
Right.
If they didn't protect your nerves, then you haven't got a chance.
Right. Right.
Just
Right.
like someone said the other day, some people, because I was one of them, when they says you might have erectile dysfunction, I said I'd rather die. But as that man said the other day, when you're in your coffin, you won't get an erection anyway.
You can't have an erection in a coffin.
Right.
Yeah, when I heard that, man, it cracked me up, man. That interesting to know. So, did you have a partner at the time?
Yeah.
What was your partner reaction? How was the partner support you within that time?
Yeah, I always had support, but I'm one of them, man, that I want to know everything about everything. So
Right.
once I decide I'm focusing on a topic,
Mm-hmm.
I want to learn everything about it.
Right.
So that's why I learned all the little ins and outs to do with prostate cancer.
Mm-hmm.
Certain things what the doctors don't tell you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I just went out my way to find out. Like sometimes someone will say they will have radiotherapy
Right.
to help to shrink the cancer.
Right.
Some people have chemotherapy. But if you speak to a doctor or any medical person
Mm-hmm.
and say to them, if you had cancer, what would you do?
Mm-hmm.
And they will always say they want the cancer out.
Right.
But people like us sometimes will always opt for a way of shrinking it, a way of slowing it down, where it's best to have it removed out your body.
Okay. So, the nerve saving therapy is an option, but the doctors may not mention that.
No,
to
they
us.
may not mention that to you. That's for sometimes you can say to them. The reason they don't mention it to you as well, because it's not guaranteed, and it still all depends how far gone the cancer is. Because if you got cancer and it's spread certain, or you got a certain amount, they give you when they take your biopsy, you get ratings. They're called like a Gleason score.
Mhm.
So they take 12 samples, and depending on how many different places they find it in, they give you like a score, so they
Okay.
can tell where it is.
Okay.
But when you have your MRI, they can see where the cancer is. But if the cancer is near to the wall or certain things like that, you can't have nerve sparing surgery.
Okay.
So there's no point them going down that road with you, because you literally need it doing. One of the other things I've noticed, because I speak to a lot of people,
Mm-hmm.
some people have radiotherapy
Right.
to shrink it.
Mm-hmm.
But something they don't tell you as well, if you have radiotherapy
Mhm.
first, then after radiotherapy didn't work, then you go to have it removed, you can't have nerve sparing surgery,
Why?
because your prostate, imagine it like a smooth ball.
Mm-hmm.
When you have radiotherapy, it like burns it up and shrivels it up. It's
Oh,
not
okay.
smooth and a nice surface
Oh,
anymore,
okay.
because you've had that radical treatment before.
Mhm.
So then it makes it harder the other way.
Okay.
But you can have it removed, and if there's any traces, you can still, people have radiotherapy after.
Mhm.
But if you think you're going to have radiotherapy first
Mhm.
and have a nice, simple operation
Mm-hmm.
afterwards, note.
Problem.
Yeah,
Okay.
that can cause a problem
That
in
makes
itself.
sense. That makes sense. So you would advise men to proper research before they do
Research,
any.
yeah, because I
Okay.
can't tell them what to do, but I
Right.
can tell them what I done
Right.
and what I would do, even if I had the choice today.
Right.
And I would still always opt. You want it out your body.
And I think this channel is a blessing to me, because I get to meet people like you and some doctors, that can educate me and my listeners. And I think it gives me an advantage as well to know these things, because when I'm doing interviews, I don't just go and do interviews. I do research.
Yes, makes sense.
So while doing research, I found out a lot of these things, and I bet you probably don't know this as a man that had prostate. You never knew that female could have get prostate cancer. You never know that, no?
No.
All right. So that is one of the benefit for my podcast, for me.
Yeah.
But
it be called something else.
No,
Yeah.
it would call something else.
Yeah.
But female, and the doctor had last week, that was in my question, but because of time, we never had the opportunity.
Yeah,
But he promised to give me an extra podcast. So we will have that coming soon. But yeah, female can get prostate cancer as well. You know what I mean? So that's one of the benefits, and one of the benefits as well that I've learned through my mom is that I found out then that men could have got breast cancer as well.
Yeah, I've had a test for breast cancer before.
Right.
Yeah,
so
I've had the biopsy in my breast.
Really?
Yeah, for it. And it did hurt when you said about them put the TV in and shoot it. Yeah, I've had that.
Okay. So that is one of the benefits for me. I get to learn different things while doing my research and during my interview. So, you know, I think there's a benefit. So when it comes to the PSA test, you mentioned about on that seminar, which I never knew until that seminar, is that when it's at a certain level, it's a warning trigger.
Yes.
What should be our normal PSA level?
I think your normal PSA level is about 3.
3.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
At the time when I had mine was 8.
8.
And mine was classed as I.
Whoa.
But since then, I was speaking to some people and them have 100,
Yeah.
600.
Whoa.
But when you get them numbers,
Yeah,
they've got
sure.
problems.
Oh my days.
Because that means they've had it a long time, but they didn't know. And you say if them they have the blood test years ago and not never wrong with them. Because for it to be 600, at some point it would have been 5, 6, 7, and they could have found out from then. But because they can't be bothered,
And it's
nothing
not,
wrong with them.
and it's not something with speed up in numbers. It take its time.
It'll take its time. Some people
So-
have it aggressive and it does jump.
Okay, so
Quick,
so for,
yeah.
for some people where it is at so far
Yeah.
gone,
But with
must
me,
be a while.
when we said to them, I wouldn't even worry about the numbers. All they need to do is go to the doctors and have the test. Regardless, nothing ain't wrong. You see, when you're 50, every year, just like all your MOT, your car,
Yeah.
you want that PSA test.
When you mentioned in the NHS, in the app,
Yeah.
you mentioned how we could find our PSA test, and that's how I find mine. But
Yeah,
you are
your
better
results.
explaining on that.
Yeah, I only found that on that day because I literally, when the conversation was going on,
Yeah.
I researched it there and then.
Okay.
If you go into the NHS app
Yeah.
after you've had a PSA test, you can see all your results you've had from your doctors,
Right.
all your blood tests, your vitamin D, your
Yeah.
cholesterol, and you will see your PSA score on there.
Mines, and I'll probably share mines with the audience so that they can see the numbers. I think mine was at 0.3 something,
Yeah.
or 0.2 something. So it's a relaxing number in my head.
Yeah, that's like
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Because mine at the moment is 0.001
okay.
because I haven't got a prostate.
Yeah, I haven't got a prostate.
But when you've had it removed,
yeah.
some people, it starts rising.
Really?
Yeah. And they still got prostate cancer.
Whoa. Whoa.
Yeah, because there's quite a few people.
I mean, you obviously state that you're not a medical profession, but you've done some research. In your head, what are the thoughts? What are your thoughts that could be the possible reason that they could have that prostate cancer after it removed?
Because it spread it in their body. Before it was removed, it was spread, or there was could be a little minute cell was left in their body, and they have still got cancer. And they will need then to have further treatment, chemo, radiotherapy. So not everyone who's had it removed, find it early or not, is out the woods. That's why I still have to have a test every year.
So let me ask you a question. If you were supposed to do, after you had yours removed,
Yeah.
did you do radiotherapy?
No.
No.
I didn't need radio or chemo because I found it early.
Oh, but if you never find it early and you remove it, would you take the radio?
You only need radio if they found traces of it still in your body.
Okay.
So normally when you have any form of cancer, regardless what it is,
Yeah.
they normally check your lymph nodes.
Okay.
Lymph nodes are in your body, they're like little filters.
Yeah.
And if they find, say, traces of cancer in the filters,
Yeah.
it's an indication that the cancer spread or it's gone through your body. So from there, they normally tend to take it further.
One of the thing is, whenever I come to cancer, I have to speak about my mom, man, because she's the foundation of this podcast, right? But one of the thing with her, when she done her biopsy, the left traces of of the substance inside her breast. They just took a small amount.
Yeah, so that was a problem.
And after she passed, unfortunately, her husband was saying, why they never take out all of it? And I questioned myself as well, why they never take out all of it?
Yeah, but you know how it works sometimes. Yeah, I mean, don't know her situation.
Yeah.
But sometimes when you've got cancer and someone says we can remove that part of it, that little part of it, or remove the whole area, sometimes a person might say, just take out that
Yeah, but
part.
she never had the cancer then. It was her first test that she done, that the doctor said to her, you don't have prostate,
breast cancer.
you don't have breast cancer.
Yeah.
However, you need to do a follow-up because there's a possibility
Yeah, they always do the
that you
follow-ups.
can
Yeah.
eventually get, which she done, but at the hospital negligence, they didn't give her the result within time. She never get the result until probably about 8-9 months after.
Yeah.
And I was the one who picked up that result after she already gone.
Yeah.
So as I said, my stepdad, her husband said, why they never took out all the substance? Maybe if they took out the substance, maybe she wouldn't have cancer.
Oh yeah, maybe not. Maybe if they you see, you got lots of maybes. Maybe if they removed her breast completely, it could have gone. But maybe she might not have wanted it removed.
Yeah.
If someone says to you, I can take that little area, at the other time they're saying, why you take the whole lot?
Right.
If you can take one part.
Right.
No different to having prostate cancer.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have prostate cancer. You've got prostate cancer. You're gonna say, I'll have nerve sparing surgery, take out that little area. But you might not say to him, you know what, take the whole lot out.
Right.
Even though taking the whole lot out might be more beneficial than taking some part.
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, so it's still decisions.
I think so. Yeah. So you're an advocate for prostate cancer, and you team up with. You are one of the support, I would say.
I volunteer for prostate cancer.
Volunteer for
Been
prostate
doing it 12
cancer
years
UK.
now. Yeah.
What are their mission for prostate cancer UK?
The main mission for prostate cancer UK is awareness.
Awareness.
And simple for awareness means we're going to let you know about it.
You sent me a link.
Yeah.
And on that link, there's some support. Do you mind sharing with the audience about that link?
Yeah. I just sat there a few weeks ago and I decided to make it easier for a lot of people. I just created one quick website with loads of important links, what you need, because when people end up with cancer, you want support, and sometimes you wouldn't even know where to go.
Right.
When I had prostate cancer, didn't know about Prostate Cancer UK, didn't have any support groups, didn't have anyone to talk to about it. So I just thought, if I can make some of these little steps easier for people to find in one go, it just makes life a lot easier.
Okay.
So they don't have to go out their way and start trying to find information. Well, I had to, because I'm going to make the information out there for them.
So what are some of the support that you listed on that?
The main support thing is a support group. Solihull's got a prostate cancer support group, and there's one in Erdington.
Okay.
Right. They're both run by a group called Tackle. But with the support group, you end up speaking to men who have been through the same thing what you are.
Right.
And sometimes some of the best information you can get and the help afterwards is from men who have been through it. Sometimes you go to the meeting, could be a room 20 men. Sometimes they might just have a discussion about each other. Sometimes you'll have a specialist talking about certain things. So you end up learning more. The more you learn about it, it makes that little journey a bit easier for you.
Right.
But Birmingham itself, this second city, ain't really got a lot of support out there, as I said.
That's
the
what
one
I
in
realised.
Erdington once a month, Solihull, but around the Midlands in general. Because I speak to a lot of people, and some of them, it's hard.
It's good that you create that, and I'm going to put the link into the show notes so that people could click on the link and they could find support if they need it.
Yeah.
There's a contact number on it. If you know the contact number out your head, do you mind listing the contact
So the
number?
support group.
Right.
I'm not sure the number off my head.
Well, I will put that link
And the address.
That link has the support number, it has the website, and it has can't remember what else on the link. And they also have an app.
Yes. Yeah, prostate cancer itself's got an app.
Right.
It's like basically a risk checker.
Risk checker.
Yeah, you go on the Prostate Cancer UK website, and
Right.
it's a risk checker. It's just actually some simple questions, your age, your ethnicity,
I took it.
and things like that.
I
And when
took
you
it.
do that, it just gives you an idea of what your risk
They took
is.
it. But I'm going to advise Prostate Cancer UK to add this little bit in it, because it didn't have any family history on that link. So when I
Oh, I thought they was.
so when I tick it, they didn't say I'm at risk,
Yeah.
because that option wasn't on that. So because of my age,
Yeah.
apparently I'm not at risk. But if the option was on it where I could click if you have a family history
Yeah.
of, then maybe I would have get a different result.
Yeah.
So I would advise you to probably tell, because you are closer to them than me, but I would advise them to add that to
But
it.
one of the advice I give to men, regardless of the risk checker,
Yeah,
if you're 50, regardless, and if you're black,
right.
just go to the doctors
Yeah.
and have a PSA test.
Yeah, because they said,
Regardless. The difference it makes in your life is a big difference.
yes, so because they said that black men and Asian, I think,
No, Asian is not as
Not
bad.
Asian.
No, it's
But they
literally
say
black,
black-
Afro-Caribbean men
Right.
and Africans. Yeah.
are at higher risk.
Yes.
Yeah,
And before you ask me, no one knows why.
yeah. No one. Yeah, I've got that already.
Yeah. No one
Um,
knows why. People speculate, but no one knows
No
why
one knows
at
why.
the moment.
Right. So, as I stated before, I am going to put the link into my description, and you can check it out for yourself. And one of the things that on this podcast, we have a opening and a closing tradition. And for some strange reason, I think it's the devil, now I blame the devil, I blame myself. I normally open my podcast with a word of prayer, but I never. But on the closing tradition, I ask the guests to leave an encouraging word. I ask the guests to leave an encouraging word for the next guest that coming up, not knowing who will be coming up. And the guests that leave an encouraging word for you, not knowing that you were coming up, is Louise Reed. And our encouraging word is, even if all you have is hope, then hold it tight. Embrace being uniquely yourself. Always show yourself the kindness you would to others. Never stop fighting for yourself. Desire because it is in the darkness of moment you find inner strength that is required to reach your desired outcome. Keep shining. And that's our encouraging words. Alfred, I appreciate you taking this time out to share some insightful information about prostate cancer and your own personal experience. And I'm sure my viewers and my listeners will really appreciate this. Thank you guys for joining yet again another podcast. And if you like this episode, please leave me a like and share a comment in the comment section to let me know what are your thoughts. What do you learn from this podcast, and what would be your advice to the mass public? I'm going to leave a link with my YouTube so that you can even click on my link to subscribe to my channel. Your subscription means a lot. Until next time, stay safe, stay blessed, and eat healthy.